it's fascinating. And you and I both listened to a podcast by Tim Ferriss with Morgan Housel. And it was interesting that both of them had decided, even though it didn't make the typical financial sense, because it's not leveraged, is that they both own their homes outright with no debt.
Mm-hmm.
And I went, that's interesting, because what society tells you is that you should have a home loan and leverage it so you actually can make more money. But what they forget is that they're missing the psychology of what it means to be human, is the feeling of being free. In other words, if you live in your own house, the bank has no title, nothing against you to take that house. And so there's the psychology, is that you have abundance because you have that independence and you own your house. And sometimes it's hard to do, especially in expensive places like Sydney. But that's where the abundance is. Like, I am free, I own my house, I don't have any debt. And I don't know, I'm interested in your thoughts on that attitude.
I totally agree with it. I really am glad that there's some great leaders out there who are sharing these things, because the system, who's in the best interest to keep you going in this place? It's banks and institutions, because it keeps it all flowing. It's not designed for the individual.
That's right.
So there is an abundant, people think abundance is just about having a lot. There is an abundant mentality to be able to say no to a lot. That's actually more abundance. Go, that's cool. You can have that. I don't need that. That really is true abundance, where you're in that place where you actually are so comfortable, so happy with your own internal feelings that you don't need any of that external world. That's incredible. So yeah, I highly recommend people to break away from some of these structures. And who says that you can't have a 2-month break every year? Why the system tells you to retire and have this long break, because they want people working for that amount of time. But actually, if you think about it, athletes, what do they do all the time? They have breaks. They have periods where they recharge and then they build up again. But we're in this modern day world of productivity. We've got to constantly keep going until, for what purpose? And then we think that we'll be able to enjoy our life later, or we'll be able to enjoy the benefits of our work. But if you don't know how to be happy now, you're not going to be able to know how to be happy in the future. It's going to be very, very challenging. And to think that you can suddenly go from all to nothing, it's very, very hard. You need to learn how to switch off. It's like these devices. When people come over to my place for dinner, I make them have their phone downstairs, and you should see the anxiety they go through. You go through an hour and a half to actually sit down with your friends and have dinner. So we've got to have these moments of testing ourselves and forcing ourselves to have breaks, because once it's programmed into us, it's very hard to get off, because we are programmed in these things now. Yeah. And if we're not being intentional with how we have a relationship with them, then before we know it, we become a computer, which is where the world's going anyway.